So we are here for the NCAA women's sports. We have women's basketball, we have women's soccer, volleyball right now. We'll do women's volleyball. We'll do women's basketball later mixed with women's volleyball and soccer. That's after. The NCAA women's volleyball. That Minnesota, Wisconsin match. Then later we might, when they're just soccer, we might mix some volleyball. We'll mix in some basketball too. We'll mix in some basketball for a little bit. Yeah. I can only do 10 parts. I'll whip around because I want to do a video on soccer, I want to do a video on basketball, and I want to do a video on volleyball scores updates at the end of the day. So there's only 10 of 8 parts I'm going to do. 2.5 hours I'm going to do an hour here. That's 4, and then I'm going to do 4 later. And then I'm going to do 4 later again. 4 after that again. Mentions Minnesota, Wisconsin. There's 2 more leaders. Okay. So let's see. 8 total, so. So let's go to Lazy Monroe. Oh, at Old Dominion, fully Alabama. Lazy Monroe 3-2. Up 3-2 in Old Dominion. Old Dominion just kicked the goal. We have 260, 50, 86, 52, so 3 minutes, 8 seconds left. Utah Tech up 2-1, California Baptist. BYU up 2-0 on number 5 Baylor. With 23:50 to go. At halftime, it's Air Force and Utah State scores. We have Florida State and Miami in volleyball. We're going to show you the featured EC network. There's feature Wednesday night volleyball matches during volleyball season. Standalone volleyball matches in the EC network. This is a good one, Florida State and Miami. Quality feature matches featuring different teams. We have Fordham and Dean in the 10 semis. So we have 6 means. We'll go down to 5 here. 4 here. You know what? I should bring in another women's volleyball match. We'll bring in Tennessee Tech and Southern Indiana. Actually, teams are better over records than Alabama and SC network. Surprised they don't have Flex in Mississippi State woman, but they always have one on the SC network plus, or match with the SC network alternate channel, and one on the main SC network channel.
Chippy. Old Dominion. Lays it forward. Goodman. Sends it long. Hayes is there.
As you and I talked about, there has to be a plan forward. Even when you're in desperation mode, we saw just Old Dominion unable to connect with one another and getting forward.
Skylar Blaze just fending off defenders. And she wins a throw-in.
Certainly helps when you've got the player of the year in moments like this one who is able to stay level-headed and do what needs to be done.
14 goals on the year, but she wants to show you her defensive prowess. Hannah Morgan. Coolha. Lays it long. Mullen. Cutting it back. Loses her footing. Coolha. Morgan. Lays it off. Balcazar. 4, 3, 2. Odo Davis sends it high. And ULM.
And the Louisiana get a 3-2 win over the Old Dominion Monarchs. And there's the goal! And that ties it at 2. With 10 seconds to go. Or 20 seconds, so Utah Tech 2, California Baptist 2.
Skylar Blaze.
And then we have 20 seconds left in that match. In the Big Ten, BYU up 3 on Baylor now. In the first WAC semifinal, what a game!
As well.
Will Roberts, in his 3rd season, ecstatic. His group is headed to the Sun Belt Championship for the first time ever. This season saw their first ever regular season title crown. They want to go for a season sweep. The league-leading undefeated streak continues to 15 games. The Warhawks advancing to the championship. We will see them on Saturday. But stick with us. Up next, we've got our second semifinal of the evening. South Alabama taking on Texas State. Who will it be taking on ULM? We'll find out here soon.
To tie this game up. Unreal.
And then now it's going to BYU and Baylor. Actually, we'll bring that in right now. We'll bring in the volleyball match later. Southern Tennessee to consider. Let's see if that's even mentioned. That's Tennessee to consider. Oh, yeah. It is. It just hasn't been mentioned. We won't show it right now. We'll bring in. We're doing that. We'll bring in BYU and Baylor. BYU versus Baylor from Texas Christian University. The winner advanced to the semifinal, to the championship match, which will be played on Saturday from Texas Christian, which is the host of this year's Big 12 Championships. In soccer. So Brigham Young 8 against Baylor University, the 5. So it's they looking down at in the big XA.
She's so small but mighty at the same time, and you never know what she's going to do. Is she going to pull it back? She's going to hit it right-footed, left-footed? Is she going to go in with the shoulder and take you down? She's one of the most feisty attackers in the conference and a lot of fun to watch.
18 and a half remaining. There you see the shot discrepancy, very much so in favor of BYU. Alton Perry checks on after the freshman out of Sarasota Springs, Utah. Talked about her plenty in the first half. What a benefit that is for the Cougars to have a player like Perry check in for Mika Crovenhoek, who, of course, has played at a very high level from the midfield spot as well.
I know they've had several freshmen step up in big moments. You have her, you have Mia Lopez. We've been saying her name quite a bit throughout the tournament. Mia Getchie. She's another one who's stepped up in big moments so far for the Cougars. A lot of promise for the future and what is going to come out of the BYU program.
Peterson scoops this up. No rush from BYU. Cougars, of course, with champ.
And if there is ace. And if I have like a phone call, this is a phone call. So if I get one, that calls apart. I might have less than 2.5 hours open. if I get, but depends on how far I get in whip run. But let's see in whip run. How many parts I do here? I do 10. Should be 2.5 hours. My guess is. So we have Air Force and Utah State that the Mountain West Women's Soccer Championships.
Everyone ranks for active winning percentage, 5th in active career victories, and 9th all-time in victories over the course of her 31 seasons here at BYU. 474 wins so far in her career. She is one of the more decorated head coaches in all of collegiate soccer.
I know her resume is one. You could be reading it the entire game. I mean, 28 winning seasons out of the 30 that she's had so far in the books, not even counting this one that we're currently in. 25 trips to the NCAA tournament. They've been to the Sweet 16 9 times, the Elite 8 5 times, gone to the Final Four 2 times, 16 conference championships, 8 conference tournament championships. I mean, what hasn't she done?
The only thing she hasn't done is, of course,
the big one, huh?
Win the whole thing or win a Big 12 tournament title. They've been to the semifinals all 3 years since joining the league. Then they turn around and they go to the final in their first year with the Big 12 back in 2023, but they fall to Texas 3-1 in the final. So she can achieve something she has not done in her career this week, and then, of course, set themselves up for better seeding and a better opportunity to do what she could not do in 2021 when BYU finished as national runners-up in the College Cup. Best finish as a program. She helped found the BYU women's soccer program back in the late 90s. You can see it continuing to play a big impact on that campus, in Provo, Utah. It looks like a campus, one of the more beautiful campuses in all of the United States. They're taking care of business on the road in Fort Worth so far. How about BYU, too? If they hold on to this 3-0 advantage, they would knock off both of the hosts. That doesn't happen, or doesn't happen a whole lot, because usually you only have one host, or you're in a neutral site. But they would take down TCU and Baylor, the two teams that are sharing host duties throughout the tournament here for the Big 12.
It's an interesting way to go about the tournament, but it had to go this way. TCU, they're going to be having a big football game coming up, and so they had to send it back to Waco for the final. But that's when we talked to Coach Rockwood going into this tournament, and that as the 8 seed is not a position they're typically in, and for her, she wasn't concerned at all, and at that point, she felt like we're just playing with house money at this point. There's a lot of people who might be counting us out because of the way our regular season went, and I think they've caught a lot of people off.
Now something Utah Tech and the Calvary Baptist here. Now for the WAC Women's Soccer Championships. The winner of events to play the winner of the next match at Utah Valley, which is Abilene Christian in the 1 seed. Utah Valley is the 1 seed. So some conferences do a tour of the 1 seed hosts, and that's Texas Christian Big 12. Some do a tour. There's the top seed hosts, some do a tour. It's a neutral site. And they just take turns with the teams hosting. Tournament. They have like a 1 second. Then we have West Coast Conference University, and they never do non-conference. Right? They do like professionals, like overseas. Right? But then they do it but they're further overseas. They do it, and then they determine champion by the points table.
Defense-minded style play. What she lacks in height, she makes up for with pure hustle and that court awareness that you have to see on the libero.
And you can almost feel the energy and the life was just sucked out of the Utah Tech side. And now the more animated side are the Lancers of California Baptist and their contingent of fans.
You can see it was a bit frantic out of the trail.